My name is Logan and for my freestyle showcase video, I decided to focus on an English assignment, my world building project. In a group of 4, we wrote the outline of a story and pitched it to our classmates in the form of a narrative treatment. I was involved in the development of the setting and the overarching plot, but most of my work was devoted to creating the characters and their interpersonal dynamics. We named this story Worlds Apart, and its logline was, after a failed attempt at terraforming exoplanet C-328 for humanity's new home, a pair of twins crash on separate neighboring planets during the evacuation. Centuries later, they awake from cryosleep, becoming members of rival nations racing to take over a newly recovered C-328. Reuniting on a battlefield after 300 years of separation, they are forced to pit their personal loyalties against political ones. In their internal moral conflict that parallels the international war, will they choose to strive for peace, or will it end with the destruction of the other? The twins in question are Nikki and Scipio. They're astronauts involved with Project Canary, a group of scientists, engineers, and researchers sent to other planets for the purpose of scouting them out and determining if they're a suitable place to inhabit and rebuild humanity. I put a lot of thought into names and how they factor into characterization. For example, Nikki is a strong leader. She's a person who always rises to face challenges and does her best to push through no matter the cost. This strong-willed nature is why I named her after the Greek goddess of victory. However, she's also become a cold and detached person. As a leader, she acts very calculating and practical. While she does have a strong moral compass, she often acts against it in order to fulfill her mission and be the best at her role. Being constantly pressured to take charge and lead has made her crack. In this regard, she is similar to the Greek gods of myth, jaded by the people's idolization and expectations. As for the other twin, Scipio is objectively the lesser sibling. He's meek and shy, a follower in contrast to his sister. He tends to rely on others and doesn't seek self-autonomy. However, when the situation calls for it, he can have the resolve to fight for his beliefs. His name is derived from the Latin word for stick, something weak and frail. Yet even this weak object can serve as a support at times. As for the program the twins are affiliated with, its name is derived from the concept of miners bringing caged canaries to detect carbon monoxide. Their deaths serve as an alert for the miners. I use this not just because it fits their role as scouts, but also to foreshadow their fate after the downfall of C-328. When the colony falls, the twins and the other members of Project Canary are ostracized, and tensions cause Nikki and Scipio to part ways and join separate factions. Act 1 culminates in the colony being destroyed in a disaster, and the twins being trapped in cryopods inbound to 2 different planets. They only awakened from stasis after 300 years, amidst a war between the 2 factions, now developed civilizations on separate planets. This is the point where the rest of the cast is introduced. Stoic is the leader of the Vanith faction, which Nikki had joined prior to the catastrophic end of Colony C-328. He's a cruel, pragmatic person with little regard for human life, essentially an extreme version of Nikki's own leader persona. Seeing him and his actions in the war is one of the factors that drives Nikki to change, to thaw, to let the empathetic, righteous part of her overcome the detached person she was before. Scipio's main character dynamic is with a young boy named Gennaro, a bodyguard assigned him by the Aurelia faction, the other side of the war. However, Gennaro has a secret secondary role. Neutralizing Scipio becomes a threat to the war effort. Scipio's character development involves the realization that Gennaro is essentially a younger him, an unsure, weak rule follower. In convincing Gennaro to disobey his orders and instead do what he wants himself, Scipio matures. The main themes I wanted to explore in Worlds Apart were human folly, empathy, unity, the value of human life, hubris, and the negative and positive effects of other people in one's life.